52-42. Your final score. Hope you bet the over in Washington USC, Dan.
What's that, 94 total points?
State school math here, back of the napkin says 94.
Yeah.
This game featured 3 punts, all 3 of them. Hope you enjoyed all 3 of them. Washington was 70% on third down, 7 of 10. Not bad. Dillon Johnson had 256 rushing for 4 touchdowns. Washington had 573 in total offense. I would add on the USC side, second quarter, they had one of the coolest trick plays I've seen in forever.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, what was that, Zachariah Branch who did the flea flicker, whatever play that was, sort of like the counter flea flicker that I have never seen before that worked swimmingly. That was cool. This was a shootout. This was a shootout in the purest quintessence of the word.
Is that a word? Quintessence? I hope it sounds like it is.
Quintessence. Sure. Look that one up. No idea. Big time shootout. Washington goes on the road and wins. You're the Pac-12 aficionado of the show. What do you think?
We had, by the way, so it's a 7-7 game, okay? Both teams score pretty early on. And then I'm not going to do Dvorak, at least not right now. But this is before halftime and after halftime. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touchdowns, a fumble, another touchdown, an interception, and then 3 more touchdowns. It was just haymaker after haymaker. Caleb Williams gave everything he could. And you mentioned the stat. Dillon Johnson finished, 256? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
I think
56.
He's the Mississippi State transfer and at running back. It's a Washington team that has not run the ball at all this year. And it's something I talked about incorrectly heading into this matchup, saying I thought Washington would be too stubborn and USC might have opportunities on defense. And then, and I believe this was Kirk Herbstreit, I want to get this correct, during the matchup mentioned that Dillon Johnson had 199 yards before contact. Before contact. That's too many yards before being touched. That's insane. Good for Washington. A hell of a play from, I don't know if you saw Michael Penix to their tight end, Devin Culp, where he bought time on like 3rd and 18 and nailed Devin Culp in, along the sideline of the end zone for a touchdown. So a thorough offensive performance from Washington. This is a half a team. And maybe it doesn't mean anything. Maybe they can get away with it the rest of the season and win the Pac-12. It's not a half a team in the way that USC is a half team. USC is at times like 40% of a team because, I don't know, the Marshawn Lloyd didn't play tonight, and they ran the ball fine. The receivers aren't really where they were last year, and you just have to count on Caleb Williams for doing too much.
Yeah.
Washington can make plays on defense. USC can't. That's oversimplifying things. They can't. They are unable to, as a unit, make plays and get off the field against quality opponents, whereas Washington sometimes can. Washington's still a half team. Might not bite them, but it's a reality.
Who's going to beat Washington? If somebody's going to take advantage of Washington, we did the Iceberg show on Tuesday. Right. What they've got left now is Utah, a road game at Oregon State, and they close out the year in what I believe will have to be a contentious Apple Cup. They're at home against Wazoo. So is it Oregon State? Is it Utah? Is it – I bring those two teams up because of the defense.
Sure.
And it would seem as if that would pose an interesting challenge for the Huskies. But the way they're playing offense, I do wonder if they're just good enough to rise above it,
Yeah, both of those teams could. Utah because of their defense, Oregon State because the game is in Corvallis. Washington's going to be favored the rest of the way. If we're actually going to live in reality, the team is Oregon. The team is Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game. That if we're going to realistically talk about the team that has the best shot, it's Oregon on a neutral field, who I think Oregon has improved since that matchup and had opportunities in that one, outgained them, won the turnover battle. I think Washington's a great team, but that's the answer for me, that Oregon, until we actually talk about that hypothetical matchup, we're saying, well, yeah, maybe Utah can stop the run or interrupt some passing lanes, whatever. I think their offense is not one that can score enough to beat Washington, and the same probably goes for Oregon State's defense. They just can't get off the field often enough.
Caleb Williams in this game, by the way, had a sick pass to the front pylon. I think it was.
You're going to have to be more specific. I know what you're talking about, but he has 7 to 9 of them every week.
He's so good. He is so good. And you can see that he's balling out. I mean, he is leaving it all out there on the field. The play that I am referring to, he scrambles, sort of throws across his body to the front pylon. It didn't even seem as if he could see where he was throwing the ball when he threw it. He just sort of like put it up.
There should be a guy there. I hope he is.
And it was thrown precisely to the right spot. I believe Brendan Rice was the guy who caught it. Front pylon. The defender was in quicksand. I mean, the ball was just thrown on time, the exact spot it needed to be. Caleb Williams is showing why he's going to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. I think he is leaving it all out in the field. And if he had a little bit of help, they would probably be national champions from the defense. But they don't have it. No. As you said, sometimes they're 40% of a team, and that's just not good enough, not to beat Washington.